What's up guys, King of Duels here with another video. In this video I'm going to be doing a deck profile on my Exodia FTK deck. I had a previous version of the deck on my channel before in which I sold that deck and I rebuilt this one because my friend was interested in playing it for the regionals coming up on September 29th in Kissimmee. So I built this. I kind of thought it was, at first I was like, oh, he really wants to play that deck? That's going to be interesting. But after playtesting it about 30 to 40 times, and by playtesting I mean just playing solitaire with myself, since your opponent, there's no really, if you go first, your opponent's interaction really doesn't matter. But after playing it a couple times, playtesting, I found out that the consistency of winning on turn one, if you win the die roll, is a very, very high. It's somewhere around 70 to 75%. You have a chance to win that game, which means you have about that much chance to win the entire match if you win the die roll. If you don't win the die roll, it goes down a little bit because people do run 1 judgment, 2 warning, and 2 torrential. Those are really the only answers that they might have for it. Because if people know that you're playing Exodia FTK, they're going to immediately use whatever resources they have to kill your Royal Magical Library, and without Royal Magical Library on the field, there's not many plays that could happen. But let's go into the deck profile. I'll try to go in depth a little bit, because I know you guys like me doing that. We have the Exodia set. Yeah, can't win without Exodia. He's the win condition for the deck, the only win condition. So, you know, gotta run him. It's a little bit of a glare from the fan, but it doesn't really matter. And then we have the main engine of the deck, 3 Royal Magical Library. Royal Magical Library is, if you don't know what it does, it's whenever a spell card is activated, put 1 spell counter on Royal Magical Library, and you can remove 3 spell counters to draw a card. So it goes with the deck because pretty much after this, the rest of the deck is just spell cards to give you tokens and, you know, 1-for-1s and stuff like that. So let's go into the next one. We have 3 Toon Blue Eyes White Dragon. Toon Blue Eyes White Dragon is for the toon tables, and also I run trade-ins. Toon table and Toon Blue Eyes really just in there for trade-in and toon table. I run 3 because 3 is good. Hard to explain right now, but when we get into the later deck profile, the later of the deck, I'll be able to explain more. 3 Thunder Dragon. I've been recently just playtesting with this card. I was like, At first I was like, not really a good card, but I do run 3 Royal Magical Library and 2 Reload. And if you draw a Thunder Dragon, your top priority in any situation is always to discard the Thunder Dragon and get the other 2 out of your deck. For one reason, it's a +1, and also it mills your deck. It thins your deck of 2 useless cards. And you also have 1 more card, a +1 in your hand for Magical Mallet and Reload. When you eventually reload a Magical Mallet, you'll be able to draw an extra card that's live. Also, it's just a really good card. I mean, when you shuffle the other 2 back into the deck, you can discard 1 to get the other one back, and then you'll have 1 dead in your hand. But 1 dead card, it's pretty much like playing with a 38 card deck, because the second you draw 1, you can discard it to get the other 2 to your hand. But yeah, it's really good. It's been playtesting really good. And next, like I said, run 3 Magical Mallet and 2 Reload. This is the consistency of the deck. You can't win without Royal Magical Library, so you have to get to that Royal Magical Library as fast as possible. Got the Reloads and the Magical Mallets to help you do that. 2 Reload because I wanted to cut a card to make room for the Thunder Dragon, and for the 3rd Thunder Dragon I had 2 slots open, so I was like, I'll cut Reload, and that'll be the end of it. But yeah, Magical Mallet's better than Reload. We all know that, because Magical Mallet, you can put any amount of cards back. Reload, you have to put your whole hand. But it's still very, very good. Enough consistency. I don't run any Summoner Monks. That's why I run so many Reloads and Magical Mallets. You got the Broken Bamboo Sword engine, which is 2 Golden Bamboo Sword and 2 Broken Bamboo Sword and 3 Golden Bamboo Sword. pretty much Broken Bamboo Sword is the most useless card in the game by itself, because all it does is the equipped monster gains 0 attack, so it does nothing. It literally does nothing. But when you have Golden Bamboo Sword, you can only activate it when you have a Bamboo Sword on your side of the field, a Bamboo Sword equip spell, and then it just becomes Pot of Reeds. You just draw 2 cards. If you have Broken Bamboo Sword on your side of the field, draw 2 cards. It's really, really straightforward. Next we got 3 Toon Table of Contents and 3 Trade-In. I run these because when you have Royal Magical Library on the field, it results in really good plays. Man, I really hate this glare right now. There's not much I can do though. Alright, that's a little bit better. But when you have Royal Magical Library, it results in some pretty good plays where you Toon Table into Toon Table, then you Toon Table into Toon Table, and then you Toon Table into a third Blue Eyes, and you'll have 3 tokens from the Royal Magical Library from using all 3. So you can draw a card, so it becomes a +1 if you start off with that play. And Trade-In's there because of the Toon Blue Eyes. I run 3, so I might as well run 3 Trade-In. Next up we have the 1-for-1s, which is 3 One Day of Peace. Very good card. It allows your opponent to draw, but if you don't open the FTK, you can always One Day of Peace and hope for next turn. 3 Upstart, just to draw 1 pretty much. And 3 Into the Void. The secondary effect really doesn't matter if you're FTKing, so that's why I run 3. Which is you can only activate it if you have 3 or more cards in your hand, which nobody actually knows that part of the thing. Everyone just thinks it's draw 1 card during your end phase, discard your whole hand. Which that's catastrophic in games where I technically lose by this card a lot, because in games I'll be going off on people and I'll just draw dead. Like, it'll just be like I have 4 cards in my hand and I have like 2 1-for-1s and I have like 1 draw from Royal Magical Library, and I'll just draw 3 Exodia pieces right back to back, and then it'll be like, wow, what do I do now? And I'll just pretty much lose because I'll have to discard my hand at the end phase. But you know, it's worth it when you have the FTK because it is a 1-for-1, and 1-for-1s are the best. And the last card is Pot of Duality. Just 1 because you can only use it once per turn, and it really helps you get to your Royal Magical Library if you don't have it. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the deck list. My friend will be playing it at regionals, so hopefully he'll do good. And if he wasn't playing it, I would probably be playing it because the deck's way too consistent. It's going to be, if he does good, I see this deck being a major force in the meta, which is sad because it's going to get like insta-banned the second it does good at anywhere, because of course Konami's not going to want an FTK deck going around. So they're going to like mid-format ban it. Putting Royal Magical Library to 1 or banning it would do the trick. But yeah, I see the deck being a major impact now that nobody runs Veilers. Last format I built it, it was okay, but everybody mained 3 Veilers in their deck, so it was really hard to get. You can't get over that if they Veiler your Magical Library. But since nobody runs it anymore, they have no outs to turn 1. If you win the die roll, there's nothing your opponent can do but watch you play solitaire with yourself. So yeah, let's see. I'm gonna see how the deck does at regionals. I'll try to teach him how to play it the best I can, and hopefully he'll do good, and if he does, maybe we'll see this deck on a YCS somewhere. But thanks for watching, guys, and peace.